highlighting the top prop bets on PrizePicks today. So guys, quite clearly we don't have any NBA until Thursday, okay? So really up until Thursday, unless I give some golf props or unless there's like some lock and load bets, this is very much going to be a bankroll management 4 days in which, yes, we're going to have some props that we like and we can play some bets on. But for the most part, I probably won't be playing as aggressively as I would be if we had some NBA DFS stuff. Okay, that's just kind of how it goes. Now, with that being said, I went through the process of trying to find the best bets for today. And, typically speaking, I know it's just more fun to have a bet out there on the day, right? So with that, I just went through, did the research, and hopefully we can find some winners for you guys. If you don't like any of them, obviously don't feel the need to force a bet in there. But let's just go ahead and go through the process. So the first bet that I want to call out is actually going to be one on like DraftKings Sportsbook that I just want to call it because we can see the prop line at PrizePicks is set at 19.5. And if we go to the game here, it's Kansas versus TCU. We can see this is projected to be a very high scoring game. And if we just go to this game for points, we can see DraftKings Sportsbook has it set at 18.5. And they already are favoring the over here. And so it really comes down to, do you think though that over 18.5 is a good number, or do you think PrizePicks is more right today? And in that high scoring game, I would tend to believe that PrizePicks is probably more right. And we can see on the season, he's someone that does average 20.4 points. Okay. And then the last time out against TCU, he had 30 points. So that kind of leads me to believe that this number is actually going to go up throughout the day. Thus, PrizePicks is right. So just part of my research, I said, that's kind of interesting that these two numbers aren't matching up, especially in a high scoring game, especially in a matchup in which Jalen Wilson just went off, So to me, that could be a bet that you make on DK Sportsbook. So now we're going to be looking at Caleb Boone over 5.5 rebounds. And if we pull it up on DK Sportsbook, we can already see they are going to be favoring the minus 135 for the over. Okay, that is something that is going to be encouraging to me. Now we'll see that in this last game, he had 0 rebounds. Now we got to go ahead and monitor as to why that was. Well, he is someone that does get into foul trouble. And it looks like that's what happened in the last game. 3 fouls early on in the game, and the game ended up being a blowout, didn't get the extra run that he typically would get. So I'm assuming that's why he didn't get there. And we could see he had been on kind of a rebound run. The thing is, he had been getting more minutes recently. Okay. And so really it comes down to minutes, and it really comes down to this game probably staying close. I'm not a college basketball expert or anything like that, okay? So I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the rotations or anything like that, how many minutes he's going to get. But what we do know is the last time out against West Virginia, had 6 rebounds, had 27 minutes. So I like the fact that the minutes were there for him in the last game. And we can see more recently the minutes have been there, and thus that's why he's been getting over the rebounds. So to me, it does kind of seem like a foul situation. And if we look at it, I like the stat is that over his last 15 games, he is averaging over 5.5 rebounds. On the season, does average 5.4. So the thing with it is, it's like, it seems like he's either going to be like right under it or really kind of crushing it today. But this is the theme of it. Like, especially on Mondays too, it seems like we're never getting like really strong lines for whatever reason. And that's going to be the theme today. It's like, we're only getting bets that are minus 135. That's the best line bets that we're getting. So we do have to make some educated decisions. And for what it's worth, one thing that I like to like kind of double check with is looking on DK or looking on Underdog to see what they have their line set at, and they have his rebounds set at 6. So they are more favoring it at 6. So to me, that tells me that we are getting maybe a slight edge here. But typically speaking, that is how Underdog works. They're a little bit more aggressive because they have that better payout for the 3-leg bet. Another kind of interesting one here would be Michael Wright over 1.5 assists. Now, once again, if we look at DK Sportsbook, we can see that they are going to be favoring the over at minus 135 and the under at plus 105. So okay there. Once again, the number that we're always shooting for there is about minus 137. That is when we're gaining an edge on PrizePicks over something like one of the sports books. If you were to place 2 or a 2-leg bet, the way you gain an edge on PrizePicks is that number, the favorable number being minus 137. So why is that a bet that kind of is sticking out as a possible quality bet that we can make? Well, it's not like it's going to be a terribly low scoring game. 143, that's not bad, and it's projected to be a close scoring game, so that is good. He is someone that does average 1.7 assists on the season, so we are getting a prop that is slightly over his average, which, never a bad thing. Look at the last game against West Virginia, had 4 assists. Okay, so that's all good stuff there, and he did have a lot of minutes because, the game stayed close, and so a lot of the times in NBA and even in college basketball, it's going to be betting on the minutes, and so like a prop probably won't hit if the minutes aren't there. This is one that it seems like the minutes will be there. So we expect him to be able to get over the assists. And obviously an assist prop, you're really depending on other players to make buckets. Like he could make 2 passes and get this in the first 2 minutes. Okay. He could make several passes throughout the game and players are just missing their jump shots. Like players could go 0 for 10 on his passes. Like I don't love assist props because of that, but like, come on, getting 2 assists is not that hard to do. We like the fact that he has done that 3 out of the past 5 games. Now here's another one where we could be chasing the over assist. Now this is going to be a game in which is going to be a higher scoring game. 149, that's going to be one of the highest game totals today. So with that, there's obviously got to be some scoring. And with that, there's going to be some assists. If there's going to be a lot of scoring, there has to be some assists for the most part, unless it's the NBA All-Star game. So once again, if we look on DK Sportsbook, we can see that line is set at -135. A good line, but not great. I wish we were getting that -140 number. They are very tight today. PrizePicks, Underdog, they're very tight typically at the start of the week, it seems like. And for what it's worth, Underdog does have this at 6. Okay, so 6 assists. So they are kind of more favoring the over here. And if we pull it up, we can see he is someone that does average 6.2 assists on the season, which is obviously really strong. And if we look at the last game against TCU, 8 assists, played a lot of minutes. He's someone that we really shouldn't have to worry about the minutes with. So probably one of the stronger bets that we get. And I know I'm going to get asked, hey, what's your favorite 2 bets on the day? Like if I had like a favorite 2 bets, I'd be calling it out directly. Like I have nothing to hide. I'm giving you guys free picks, like I hate even saying free picks. It's weird that people charge for picks, but I will call out days in which I feel like we have some really strong bets that I don't want to have you guys miss out on. We're just not getting that today. If I had to say, and I don't like doing this would probably be my favorite one, but like that would feel like we're forcing it. I just want to make that clear. So now we're going to get into some NHL bets. And I just want to call it like we do have some more college basketball bets that are going to be out there throughout the day. And maybe I will do another video today because there are a lot of games or a lot of props that are out there. Right now, as it sits, we don't have that many props coming in for those games, right? So I don't really want to give prop information without those lines being there. And so like even like this, guys, like this line just dropped and you can see they are very much monitoring this. So the assists for Jeremy here are set at 3 for PrizePicks. If we pull up the odds, it'd be -145. So we can see they are very much monitoring that. There's a reason why they're pricing that down. And like Underdog, they're just not giving us that number because of that. This is kind of an interesting one as well, just for what it's worth. DK Sportsbook currently has the favoring the over at 12.5 points. If we look on DK Sports, or if we look on PrizePicks, we can see they have the line set at 13.5 for points. I'm not sure what we do with that, but I mean, a full point, that's a lot. And so I would assume one of these numbers are going to adjust throughout the day. Wow, this is interesting, right? Isn't it? Okay, so look at this. And these just dropped. So this is quick research here. Okay. Mike James, DK Sportsbook has the under favored at 8.5 points. If we go here, PrizePicks has it set at 10.5. That's a 2-point difference. That is huge. So typically speaking, I do like to trust the sportsbooks more. They're a little bit sharper. This would probably be a situation in which we could bet the under. Let me just go ahead and kind of go through the process of this one because that is extremely interesting. Okay, so Underdog also has this set at 10.5. Very interesting there. So we can kind of clearly see that this is a situation in which the prop sites or DK is probably wrong. One of those two are going to be wrong, right? That's a big difference. 10 points is a big, or 2 points is a big difference. So let's see. Kind of a lower scoring game, I guess, is a game in which could be a blowout. It's probably strongly going to be a blowout. And so to me, that is probably why they would be favoring the under here. Okay, just strange that DK Sportsbook has it set at 8.5 and they also are favoring the under. It's not like it's even a push. So let's look at Mike James here. I'm kind of curious in games in which are blowouts. No, he's been able to get there. 23, 27. Very interesting here. Heck, in games that haven't been blowouts, he has gotten there. Averages 9.5 on the season. I don't know. This might be a situation in which you attack on DK Sportsbook, bet the over, and we're getting a plus number there. And if anyone feels like a college basketball expert and wants to share on this is just an interesting one. 2 points is a lot. Just interesting there. And so like what I mean by that is that we got another line in that game, 16.5, even push. And we can see like DK Sportsbook is also favoring that as well. So just a very interesting one there. And like just looking at the rebounds here, pretty much an even push, like favoring the over slightly there for Mike James. But if we look over here, we can see at 2.5. So just strange that is a very different line. Okay, let's go ahead and move into some NHL bets. So they were very slow to release a lot of these bets. Okay, and like the board has been populating as I've developed this video. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys kind of the best bets that are out there right now. They're all like -135. So none of them are locks. Okay, I want to make that clear. But we'll just go through and kind of show you guys why. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. One of the props I liked, they already took off, which it didn't seem like a lock and load, but Underdog hat set at 3, whatever. It didn't seem like a prop that they were going to take away. That's why I laughed. So Travis here, they are favoring the over 2.5 shots on goal at -122. Okay. And the under is going to be set at +114 across the sportsbooks. So good lines that we're getting there, right? And then just pulling up on DK Sportsbook for comparison reasons, we can see favoring the over there. This game does have the lowest over and under on the day at 6. Okay, so not too crazy. I mean, we can see other games have 6 as well. Now, if we just pull it up here, we can kind of see the game log here. 7-3-0-2-3-0-3-3. So it really seems like he's having these kind of massive games, or he's really kind of just getting the under by a lot. So far from a lock and load bet, but it is one that's all right. Another one that's going to be far from a lock and load bet would be the over here 2.5 shots on goal. If we look at it, -135 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Across all the sportsbooks, it is going to be set at -122. Now, the thing that I want to point out about both of these that I have given already is that the lines really opened up favoring these extremely. Like the first one with Travis, open up at -160 to get over 2.5 shots on goal, has thus come down. So just a prop bet to monitor throughout the day, okay? And then this one as well did open up at around -160 across all the sports books, okay? Just something to monitor there. And I say that because as all the other props have come in from all the different sports books, we can see there's kind of a lack of continuity between them. Typically speaking, I like to bet on ones in which we are getting kind of the same message from every sports book. And so that's kind of where I get weary. Okay. Now, if we look at Underdog, the first one, just wait real quick. They took away the Mike James one. Interesting. Did they take it away because it was too high? I'm wondering there. Interesting. So Underdog, they have the Travis one set at 3 shots on goal, and then this one 2.5 shots on goal. So we can see that one with Travis is kind of more favored to get the over. Just PrizePicks has it set at a higher number. Typically like to default to using that. And then another one we got here. Okay. We'll be looking at under 2.5 shots on goal. Now, this one is one in which across all the lines that we're getting, it's about -135 across the board for the under, which is good, and then +108 for the over. Okay, so a pretty decent number that we're getting. Now, if we just go ahead and look at his game log, just kind of like to see it. So 2.5 shots on goal. So we can see kind of recently has kind of been closer to getting the over here. So it is going to be one that's tight. Probably not one I would want to chase too much, but once again, this is kind of one of the better prop bets that we're getting currently. So it is what it is, right? But that is all for today's video. Just to remind you guys, no bet of the day, just given the fact that we aren't getting any bets that are locked. So, okay, want to make that very clear. And also, just it does feel like we're forcing it. Like for me, this is stuff that I don't personally know the best. Like we can do the research on, try to find the best lines and whatnot, see which ones correlate. And that's what I did in this video. But at the same time, I like to attack stuff in which I know. That's why stuff like fantasy golf, has hit a lot. Like the last 2 days for PrizePicks, it was like 5 for 5 yesterday and then 4 for 4 the other day. Obviously know that a little bit better, more comfortable knowing when to attack there is pretty much it. So very much going to be a name which we are scaling back the bankroll. If there are props in which are elite props later on in the day, I will be coming out with another video, but probably not. We shall see. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Let's have a good slate. Good luck, and as always, let's keep cashing.